Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is my first video recording of the new year of 2020. Okay, well, we're gonna be talking about fear because I got a lot of different input from Spirit to carry on this message to you guys and to actually see what you take from it, because everyone's gonna take something different. And even I still write about this subject for probably now 2 or 3 months. I've been writing about fear and how it's complacent in my life and why it takes over so much of my life, and trying to change that direction a little bit. So I've had a channeling session, and I didn't even know I was doing it at the time, but the more I got into it, I have my notebook here. I actually really loved it. I'm hating the process of it, but for 2019, I learned a lot of different things spiritually, and my biggest lesson was being truthful with myself. And I want to say, like, for people who are on a spiritual journey, I was like, I just want to skip this one. Can't we just skip it? Let's skip it, please. And they're like, no, we're setting you up for, well, they didn't tell me it was fear, but they're setting me up for other stuff. And the next thing was fear that I'm working on. And I couldn't have done fear if I wasn't truthful with myself. And being completely truthful with oneself had me in bed a lot of days crying, and not even wanting to communicate with Spirit. And even though they butt in and we do sessions, I would break down, and I'd have to look at myself, why, in the reflection of my brokenness, why am I like this? Why am I crying? What is it that has me such in a funk, besides Spirit saying, why aren't you being truthful with yourself? What is this about? Why is your mood of depression? And I wanted to get off the medicine. I'm off depression medicine, which I'm happy. But I wasn't, it was hard to come off of the after effects and dealing with my emotions of being so closed in and hiding from myself. I wasn't hiding from other people. I'm pretty blunt, I believe. Outgoing, probably not, but very blunt. So I always consider myself to be a pretty honest person, but with myself, it's hard to sit there and look at yourself and identify different labels and why you think of what you think of yourself. Follow that. And that gets me into let go of fear. And like I said, I have my notebook here. To let go of fear, that we are all controlled by fear. Are we gonna make the car payment? Are we gonna make rent or the house payment? Do I love my job? No, but I need it to pay my bills. And it's that underlying fear of what this reality controls you by. And they said they wanted me to identify everything I was scared of. And you know, you have the cocky people, or the people that don't want to deal with anything. I'm not scared of anything. It's like, that's just such a cover. You know, I am terrified of not being in control. And I worked on control issues earlier in 2019, and that helped me get with what I'm fearful over and to be truthful with myself. I am fearful of never being on top, of always being messed up, or not having the leg in the correct pant leg, if that makes sense to you. I have these dreams and these wants, and they're outrageous, and they're different than just, oh, I want to go to school and do this. It's not really like that, and I had to confront that. And I would love to travel to a different country and live there for 3 to 6 months and learn about their culture, their religion, and all different, how they live and what makes their culture and their people So I had to be like, why haven't you done that? Why are you so fearful? I'm like, well, money, you know, and anyone can make money, I believe, to a certain extent. It's just what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do for that. And again, it's being completely truthful, to let that gate open, let other people in, let your friends in, and experience being honest with your friends of what's going on in your life. Because some of us like to act like everything's upholding, it's great. Oh, I've just had a shitty day. What about your shitty day that has you down? And then we go around this circle of what is fear? What is it? Why do you have that anxiety? Why are you unsure? What makes you shaky? And I believe society loves to put fear in us because we are all fearful of failing. And within failing, I failed this last weekend, and you know, my boyfriend goes, that's a huge lesson. And he was explaining how it could be a lesson, and I'm like, yes, that's right. You know, and even though I hated it because I failed and it was miserable and it was hard, I was truthful with my friends too. I didn't make like, oh, I did great, everyone did this and people showed, and instead of being, and I was happy I didn't sit there and lie, because I didn't have to sit there and hide the fact that, hey, I'm in bed the next day, I'm crying, I'm really sad, I can't shake this feeling. And I have days like that I don't want to leave the bed. My cats are there. I still have days, I'm human. And that's the part that society plays. I see all these people out, and this is why I've started hating going in public, and I love going in public because I read people, and I don't even mean to. Sometimes I just let my shields go down, and I read their different feelings, what's going on in their life. I love to read what's present, not what's going to happen. And people are fascinating, but we're very simple. We all want to be loved, and we all want to be accepted. And the acceptedness comes with self-worth. And my thing that I feared was I don't feel like I'm self-worthy. And I would get on to my mom because I read her, and sometimes I don't mean to, but I still get stuff for her. I'm like, why don't you feel like you're worthy of this? And here I am. That's one of my biggest fears. Am I worthy to go to that country for 3 to 6 months and to travel and to learn about stuff? Am I worthy to take off that time? And the answer, like, my logical ego's like, well, yes. But then cutting it down and actually taking it bit by bit, it makes you sit there and think. Like I said, fear is created by our environment as well, and that goes along with society. Are you in an apartment? Are you in a house? What type of house? Does it have a picket fence? Is it a high-rise apartment? You have all these barriers that we view as self-worth. Do you have a fancy car? Well, what kind of car? What color car? How much did you pay for that car? Oh, it's not a good car if you didn't pay over 50 grand. And that is my cat, Arlo, doing a little tune for you. He's ready to go on a ride. But being fearful, Spirit said to take the limits off, to imagine a world that you take limits off. That you don't need a job, you don't need, I don't need money to go to, I was wanting to go to Asia and travel all around. I don't need money, it's gonna appear or it's going to happen. Just boom, take away that fear. And I'm like, no, my brain was like, my ego and pride was like, no, that we need fear. This is how we cope, and you know, this is how you level society out. But they're like, no, we're trying to teach you here. Lauren, take it away. Take those limits off you. And you know what, for a couple days I wrote and I wrote taking the limits off, and I stopped, and I'm going to pick up that pen and write about it again, because it is amazing of what you think you want and what you actually need. Do I need the Asia country? No. But do I want it? Yeah. I don't want a 9-to-5 job. I want something out of the ordinary. And to be honest, I always thought I liked being alone, and that's not the case. The case is I get overloaded with emotions and other people's emotions, and I take everything on, and then I don't know how to convey it to others. So I hide. I love people. I need people. I need to be around people. People who say they need to be alone, take a look at that of why you're so fearful of being around people. It's horseshit. I'm gonna call it out, and you might hate it. People might inbox and do all sorts of shit. It's bullshit. You are hurt and fearful of something that's not all connecting. I did a reading for a girl that hid in her room day after day, and I asked if I could put this in here. She goes, yes. Said she didn't need people. But then when we got further into her reading and other things, there was trauma that had happened to her and she never fully dealt with. And with people, you have to deal with them, whether you like them or not. You have to be, hello, I would like a beverage, I would like this. You have to communicate, right? And people who think they need to be alone often feel like their voice isn't heard. And that was her. She didn't feel like her voice was heard or she can communicate. And after we peeled off all of those layers like an onion of what she was so fearful of people, it was connecting. That no one would actually connect with her true self. And she never showed her true self with anybody, so therefore no one could ever connect. And I was actually, this girl hit home because I used to be like that, and some days I still go back to that girl that, nope, I'm gonna put up this wall, you'll get a version of me, and you're not gonna get the whole ball of wax because I can't even look at that. And that went with 2019 of being truthful with myself. Do I like myself today? Why is it that I feel like this? And I'm gonna leave you with this, and this is what got me writing, and I'm still writing. And Spirit said, create a version of your life without fear. Create a version of yourself without fear. What does that look like to you? If you sit there and brush me off, don't do that, because that is for you, my friend. What does your life look like without bills, without money, without the to-do list, without put your kids, if you have kids, on the back burner? What does your soul crave? Take your limits off, be open, and be honest with yourself. This is Kirkendoll's In Messy Life. I hope you guys are having a good start of your new year. It is February now. We have Valentine's Day coming up. Please say something kind to a loved one, a friend, whoever you call family. All right, thank you.